And now, broadcasting from the Ginger and Baker Studio in the heart of the Music District in beautiful Old Town Fort Collins, Colorado. It's Live at Lunch here on KRFC 88.9 FM, streaming live worldwide at krfcfm.org. Today's musical guest is a busy lead vocalist and musician for Dragondeer and has an electronic duo, Wabi, and is also a DJ and will be appearing at various mountain town venues in November and December. I'm your host today, David V., and today's special musical guest is Eric Halborg.
Honey, when you wake up, I never went to sleep. I've been running in them hills with the balls of the beat. We had ourselves a little taste of pie, couldn't put it down. We all geeked out and hopped up on making these sounds. So we make them all day. Said I got you, mama, don't think twice. Love, we going all day and all night. I got you, oh, don't think twice. Some bodega queen with a firestorm in her hair, holding cold undercover like she don't care, 'cause she don't care as long as it goes all day and all night. Said I got you, oh, don't think twice. Love, we going all day and all night. Said I got you, oh, don't think twice. When she come down, talk about sassafras pie. Ain't gotta answer no questions, Lord, I ain't asking why. So take your boots off, lay your head upon my chest. Ain't gotta worry about nothing, mama. Gonna let the stars up in the sky do the rest. Some little mountain gypsy, sky-bone honey pie. And take the snake out the snaker. Ain't no lie, ain't do a doggone. It goes all day and all night. I said I got you, oh, don't think twice. Love, we going all day. Said I got you, oh, don't think twice. On Highway 9, gonna have ourselves a time. Hot damn, I'm running for your love. Good God, I'm sniffing from the glove. Jolie, you got me wrapped up in the side. Ourselves a time. Hot damn, I'm running from your love. Good God, you're sniffing from the glove. And Jolie, you got me wrapped up in desire. Yeah, Jolie, you got me wrapped up in desire.
Halborg here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Hey, thanks for coming up today. A little difficult.
Thanks so much for having me.
A little difficult on the drive, I'm sure, but wonderful to see you. Tell us a little bit about, we'll start out with Dragondeer. You identify yourself as a psych blues band, and I can kind of see that listening to your music. And you are originally from Chicago. Yeah, born and raised there, grew up there?
Yeah, first 18 years till 2 weeks after I graduated high school, and then I got right back out here.
All right, and that was my next question. What brought you to Colorado?
So initially snowboarding.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I had a friend that was older, and his sister lived in Inglewood, if I'm remembering right, and we drove out from Illinois to snowboard Winter Park, and I'd been basically riding like the ice hills of Wisconsin at Wilmont Mountain, a little bit north of Chicago, and was in love with it, and came out here and was like, all right, what do I got to do to come back? As quick as possible. And like I said, I moved out 2 weeks after I graduated high school. I met a woman that was 27 at a Grateful Dead show, and I was like 17. And she was like, why don't you just come live in Boulder with me? I was like, yes. That sounds awesome.
Those opportunities don't always come along.
No, much to the chagrin of my family. But awesome. Got out here and ended up getting residency and eventually going to CU. Lived in Breck for a while. Lived in Boulder for a while. Now I've been in Denver for 20 years.
All right.
Yeah.
So I know that you've gone through some musical morphing. You started out in a punk band?
Yeah, so I was in the band called the Swayback. We actually recorded the Blasting Room with Livermore here in Fort Collins, and it was sort of like a mix between these are like the best of all time. But if I dream mix was sort of Dead Kennedys mixed with Joy Division, right? So it's like a kind of a gothier punk or whatever. And then that morphed to a little bit more punk with some rock and roll, and then even a little bit of like swaggery funk to it. And then I met Cole Rudy from Dragondeer fame right now, and we both had like a love for blues. I think I grew up with it. He knew
Chicago.
And I grew up with it in Chicago. It was like ubiquitous. It was like in, our Jewel, which would be the equivalent to King Super here. And it was like, there was just blues everywhere. And I think as a youngster, I dug it. I used to listen to the King Biscuit Flower Hour on it would be Sunday on WXRT out of Chicago, 93.3. And Sunday they would do King Biscuit Flower Hours, like good old school blues recorded live into the dead hour, as you can imagine what that is, into like some sort of like, was it like landscapes or some sort of psychedelic weird
Mellowed
thing?
as it went.
Yes, yeah, whatever it was. But it was like these 3 bangers on Sunday night, and I would listen to that quite a bit. So I think it sunk in, When I first moved to Boulder, I was into everything, and I think people there, when I would put on My Bloody Valentine at a party, they were like, Eric, this is bumming me out. Like, can we put in another Fish bootleg or whatever, which I'm into, but I was confused why people weren't digging everything. And I think in response to that, I was in a punk band for like 10 years. And then I sort of went back to the full scope of like what I've been into musically, and part of that was the OG blues and funk. I sang for a funk band in high school, in Chicago or outside of Chicago. And
so you didn't close doors to any musical genre, did you?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I like early Ministry as much as I like Coltrane. Like the full gamut to KRS-One or whatever. Like everything. And I basically had been playing harmonica in my car, my old band Swayback. I was at a rehearsal space, kind of the Colorado Music Building that's sort of by Whiskey Bar down in Denver, in Lodo. But there used to be a pretty grimy practice space there right behind the Jesus Saves buildings. And someone stole my car stereo out of my pickup truck
While you were practicing.
While I was practicing,
oh man!
And I mean, it wasn't the best. The whole thing wasn't the best. So I mean, it sucked. But what I did is not replace that stereo and put 3 harmonicas in the hole that was where the stereo was. And probably for like 3 years, if I was in the car, I would drive with one hand and blow harp with the other. Right? Not to any music, not
just honing the licks.
I'm a singer first, first and foremost, but once I realized that I could like express myself through a harmonica with the same sort of diaphragm feels that are so like satisfying from singing, that I was just really drawn to it, right? And it's almost like I wear like a singing straw as a necklace at all times, right? You kind of see it through there.
Yeah.
But for vocal exercising and warming up and whatnot, and then I definitely found the harmonica to be in that vein. But then I'm playing melodies that have been inside or that I've heard a million times and are written to the hard drive, but able to realize them on this instrument through the vocal pathway was very exciting. And so I did that without thinking much about it other than I was enjoying myself. And then I was doing some work with Cole Rudy. He was recording a jazz standard, and I have a small home studio. And then he said something to the effect of, you play harmonica, don't you? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, you should play something over this. And I was like, well, I've never really played with anyone. And then he sort of explained to me, is it a fifth up?
Yeah.
Where like cross harp?
Right, the cross. Yeah.
Cross harp, right? And so a concept I didn't know. I wasn't playing with anyone, so I didn't really think about it. Obviously straight harp is like Bob Dylan, Neil Young, country players, right? You're playing in the key of the song. Yeah. But then if it's cross harp, which is what most blues players are playing, they're playing, if the song's in A, you play a D. If the song's in E, you play an A. And so then he explained that to me, and then he played some basic blues, and I blew over it, and he was like, oh, he's like, all right, you can play harmonica. He was like, let's start a blues band. I was like, okay, let's.
As long as it's got a little psychedelic.
Yeah, it's got a little weirdness to it. So, but the initial was the two of us. I played a classical because I was bass and sang at this punk band, but so I wanted to play with my fingers. So I'd play a classical through a tube amp, and then harp, and then he played. He got a degree in guitar, but wanted to play something outside of that, so he was like, I'm going to play slide wah-wah delayed mandolin and lap steel, but like really psychedelic. And I was like, yeah, whatever, let's do this. And then that was sort of the impetus of Dragondeer, and we did that for like a year and a half, and then we've added members as it went along.
One more quick question before we get you back in the music. Why Dragondeer? What's the name signify?
So when I was at CU, I was a waiter at Sushi Zamai, which is like a kind of a great sushi bar, but then Saturday would be kind of like rowdy karaoke as well. And I served quite a few as a waiter Kirin beers, and
the logo on it.
The logo Kirin, and then I looked up what a Kirin was, and it was said a dragon deer creature that would come about as a sign of good luck before like new Asian emperors would arrive, and if this dragon deer was there, it was sort of good luck for them.
Sounded pretty cool.
And I was like, that's cool, and I liked the alliteration. And then that was sort of my like design handle for a second, and then once Dragondeer formed, it seemed like a fit as well.
Well, you played all day. What's the second one?
Jolie.
Mm-hmm. And what are the next two you think you're going to play for us?
The next two I will play. How about? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How about Hold On and Patient Boy?
Okay.
Yeah, both Dragondeer songs. So hold on.
Eric Halborg. here on KRFC's Live at Lunch.
Matter of fact, I'd suggest you keep your head in the clouds. Hold on, well, you ain't gotta come back down. You can shake your worries, mama just dance around. You can just hold my hand, stare across this wide, wide open, big old land. Wonder, it's wonderment all around. There's something you ain't gotta crawl for, ain't there a belief for you now? Something you ain't gotta crawl for, ain't that a belief for you now? Oh, can we hold on, never come back down? Matter of fact, I suggest you keep your head in the clouds. Oh, hold on, well, you ain't gotta come back down. You can shake your worries, mama just dance around. You can just hold my hand, stare across this wide, wide open, big old land. Wonder, it's wonderment all around. There's something you ain't gotta crawl for, ain't there a belief for you now? There's something you ain't gotta crawl for, ain't that a relief for you now? Oh, can we hold on to one another and never come back down? We're gonna win always, cross these strange old days and get on down. How can we hold on? Well, you ain't gotta come back down. You can shake your worries, mama just did. Take your worries, mama, and get on down. Smack my head against the wall. How hard I gotta fall. How hard I gotta fall. How many rivers I gotta cross. How many dreams gotta drown. Get on down. How hard can we get on down? How hard can we get on down? I gotta learn. What do I gotta get my nose rubbed into? Be a little freer, the man. No, I understand. Woo-hoo. Well, I'm a patient boy. Give me a little bit of do as I please. No, I understand. Woo-hoo. Well, I'm a patient boy.
The Patient Boy, Eric Halborg, here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. All right, I enjoyed that. That was one of your singles. It wasn't on any other EP or album, if I remember
That's
right.
true. Color Red Records.
Yeah.
Eddie Roberts from the New Master Sounds,
What
recording and putting our records out. It's rad.
Great record label out of Denver, isn't it?
Yeah, super cool.
Well, you've been busy. I know you guys, as Dragondeer, you've opened for Drive By Truckers, Anders Osborne, Sonny Landreth, Jereka Singleton, Leon Russell, Steel Pulse. I'm sure 100 more than that.
Yep.
But that is fantastic. How did you get to the point where you were able to open for bands like that?
Getting booking agent.
Yeah, a good booking agent.
Yeah, which comes from like, just trying to get as many DIY gigs as you can and running reps and just getting your name out there. We kind of, musicians these days have to wear a million hats, which is kind of a drag, but you do it because you want to, play with Dumpster Funk, or you want to play with the Future Birds, or you want to play with, Nate and the Night Sweats, like all that stuff, or you want to be able to put out records, or you want to catch the attention of Eddie Roberts from the New Master Sounds to put your records out, right? So like all those things snowball as you're just sort of putting in the work, figuring out writing tunes, getting out recording. Yeah.
Would you say, was there a time where you had maybe a big break or a particular gig or show that like, wow, this kind of opens people's eyes to you and your music?
So I think early on, we had, there was like I forget what it's even called. It's sort of to the right of the Bluebird if you're looking like a half a block, but there's something like this house.
On Colfax?
Yeah, on Colfax, which is like 4 blocks from my house. There's like this house that was also kind of a venue and kind of a bar, and then there was a studio in the back. John Macy had a studio back there. But we played there one time, and then the gentleman, this was early Dragondeer, like first year,
20,
year two, probably
16?
first like 2 years,
Okay.
yeah, something ish. And he said to me after, he's like, "That was really great. You should come and do this Battle of the Bands here." And I was like, "Hell no!" I'm like, "No, Jay." I'm like, "What are you talking about? No, I don't want to do Battle of the Bands." And he was like, not that I'm like above it. It's just not like I didn't think our thing at the time. But then he was like, "It's to get into Telluride Blues Fest." And I was like, "Yes, we will do that."
Yeah, we'll show up.
I was like, "Let's do it." And so it was in the parking lot of that place. But they had like pretty good production and like a stage and the whole thing right on Colfax. And I think there was like 180 bands like went in, and then we just, I think from like the first EP I recorded in my basement, and think they had heard that maybe you turned that in or a video, and then we got selected. There's maybe 12 bands. We ended up winning it. Dragondeer won it, and so
180 bands. Wow.
Yeah, so then we got to be at Telluride Blues Fest, which was definitely huge, because then Jam and the Van did a video of us.
Oh yeah,
and we rocked a couple songs in that, kind of showed what we could do in a well-recorded kind of scenario, and then we got to play on stage at Telluride Blues Fest, which was huge, and then we ended up 3 years later getting asked to play back there, and played like 4 different shows at Telluride Blues, like main stage, all that. And yeah, I mean, I think all those things that sort of happen to you as you go along, especially in Colorado, that's like supports local music, plays it on the radio. The local venues are like, if you're hustling, like let's have them open for someone who's a little bigger to like get it going. One of the things, Kendall Smith, who's part of the UMS in Denver Post back in the day, became a fan of Dragondeer. And since I was in a Cole played in metal bands. He played in this band called Varlet. I played in Sweatback. It was all more on the alternative side of things. So we used to play like High Dive and Three Kings and whatever. Well, and UMS a bunch. Well, Kendall Smith realized that we would possibly, Dragondeer would have an appeal to more jam, funky sectors, which we weren't really part of. We were like, early Dragondeer was playing South Broadway kind of stuff, because that's what we knew. And Kendall was like introduced to Scott Morrill from Cervantes, who owns Cervantes and booked Cervantes, and was like, "I think your crowd might dig them." And Scott Morrill really kind of took us under his wing and started putting us with really cool people. And it was like, I think the first was like a Jerry Joseph, right, who had written songs for Whites for Panic, and it was his own thing too, and it's still his own thing. And he became a buddy, and then he had us out to a farm party, a show in Oregon, and it was like Patterson Hood from Drive By Truckers and Steve Kimmock and all these.
And then you get to open for the Drive By Truckers,
and we were used to like kind of gruff punk rock South. It's not gruff, but just like straight punk attitudes. And High Diver, where we started playing the Cervantes. People were like hugging us, the employees, when we walked in and stuff. And we were like, oh, this is pretty awesome.
Now you're okay.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm like, okay, I like this. And I think in the process of that, we got picked up by Madison House, and then they're having us at their Electric Forest shows. They're having us. We were on that Grand Doozy thing. We've always kind of been a mix between. It's definitely song centric, but then the other three cats are jazz guys, right? And so there's certainly been improvisation as part of our live thing for certain. Changes all the time. And when we play, and so I think there's an appeal to that world. But then we have a song like Mirage à Toi that
funky and jazzy. And
what's that?
I think it's funky and jazzy, and it's a cool song.
Yeah, man. And so I think we've appealed to a bunch of different sectors to whatever degree, and that's allowed us to play with all sorts of stuff. Like I was saying, from like Future Birds to funk bands. I mean, we played with Steve Miller at Red Rocks last summer. It was definitely like probably the highlight.
Networking and
yeah. Just being nice to
be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And that sounds very cool. You also toured Germany, and I assume some other places in Europe.
You know what? It was a one-shot, one-town German thing. We were in Schropingen.
Schropingen?
Yeah, Schropingen. I hope I'm not.
Schropingen.
And they have a blues festival there, and they are very they love sort of blues in all its forms. Whatever way their people are touching on that these days, but then also traditional blues. And they found us like online and literally reached out to us and were like, we want to fly you out. We're going to pay you this much. We're going to put you in a hotel and want you to play our festival. And I kind of thought it was spam. At first, I was like, what? I'm like, whatever. And then I kind of revisited it and was like, oh, they're actually asking us that. And we just went out and did one show. It was totally in and out.
Wow.
And wonderful experience. We met some cats out there. We met Jerika Singleton.
Got to see him down in New Orleans.
And we ended up
Festival,
like hooking up
guitarist.
with him and playing with him in Charleston at this like old school blues club. It was rad. He had us open for him out there, and it was like perfect. We were out playing for I think Fat Tire,
New Belgium
Brewery, yeah. Playing out there in Asheville. But yeah, just sort of following the muse and seeing how it goes, and it ebbs and flows, but then you get to do really cool stuff. So
what's the best place for people to go to get information on upcoming shows, obtain your music if they're interested? Where would you like people to go?
I think dragondeer.com.
Okay.
Right?
All one word, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, dragondeer.com. It's it's got our show dates. It's got kind of highlight videos, and then you can go from there. I'd say we're probably most active on Instagram, but there's only X amount that anyone can stomach of that.
What are you going to play for us next?
I am going to play a song called Serpents of the Harbor, which is unreleased. We're in the midst of recording it, kind of figuring out, I suppose, the vibe that it wants to be delivered in, but it was something that was written on an acoustic guitar, so it makes sense. And then I'll probably play this song Just Like the Old Days, which I literally haven't put my hands on for quite some time. But it is a swayback song by old punk bands, but for whatever reason I had this one acoustic-ish song that was in swayback, much to the other band members' chagrin, but I always kind of dug it. So I'll bust those two.
Okay, great. Eric Halborg here on KRFC's Live at Lunch.
red shoes on. Yeah, it's the one way out of the maze by song. When the sirens call on me again, will I have the wit to just be friends? Head beneath the wall, there go my legs, shivering in the timbers among the dregs. Serpents of the harbor, don't come up for air. Don't leave a train, ain't having a care. Serpents of the harbor, impending sense of doom. Even with our loved ones in the very next room. Even with our loved ones in the very next room. Well, let's see the tracks from where I ran. Head beneath the water, there go my legs, shivering in the timbers among the dregs. Serpents of the harbor, don't come up for air. Don't leave a trail, ain't having a care. Serpents of the harbor, impending sense of doom. Even with our loved ones in the very next room. Even with our loved ones in the very next room. to do, even with our loved ones in the very next room, even with our loved ones in the very next room. Just like them old days, only better. Well, our dreams burned down, so we ain't expecting much. Just like them old days, only better. Turntable blessings, that's all that we messing with now. We burn brightly, yeah, we tread lightly, and then we conjure the spirits and deliver it nightly. We burn brightly, yeah, we tread lightly, and then we conjure our spirits and dance with them nightly. Just like the old days, only better. Ain't no need to rush, the bridge is done burned down. Just like the old days, only better. We don't mind at all, we're way past the last straw. We burn brightly, yeah, we tread lightly, and then we conjure the spirits and deliver it nightly. We burn brightly, yeah, we tread lightly, and then we conjure the spirits and dance in them nightly. Jumbo, get out, shake out of the haze. Fam, brother, caught up in the craze. And we've got escape routes for that. I'm not telling you how it is, I'm reveling in where it's at. days, only better. Well, our dreams burned out, so we ain't expecting much. Just like the old days, only better. Turntable blessings, that's all that we're messing with now.
Eric Halborg here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. I'd like to take a second to just remind all of our listeners and viewers that you can always go to our KRFC RadioVision YouTube channel. Click on the old subscribe channel there. And every week you'll get a notification of who the artist will be performing that week. You can view all the past, present, and future videos of Live at Lunch there. Wonderful place to go and discover Colorado and national artists. Also like to thank Eric Delano, Colton Boening, and Greg Douras, our video and audio crew today. Thanks, guys. You always do a fantastic job. Was there anything that you'd like to mention before we let you finish with the last two songs, Eric? Are you?
Yeah, so we're playing, Dragondeer is playing at Cervantes December 7th. December 6th, and we're doing it with Tongue Hammer, which features members Sean Eccles from Andy Frasco's band and Jeff Franca from Thievery Corporation, at all, and he's ethno as well on the DJ electronic music producer tip, and Corey Montgomery. Jeff Gerlach, that's also in Andy's circle, and a ripping sax player is playing with his project as well, and that's at Cervantes' other side.
That should be a fantastic show. All right, again, Dragondeer, and then Wabi, your other electronic venture. Speak a little bit about that and where you'll be playing. I know you've got one coming up here before this show airs, but...
Yeah, tomorrow we're playing with Random Rab at Belly Up Aspen. Mm-hmm. And that is a project with me and Kevin Sankel. Goes by DJ Carbon, he's a good buddy of mine. And we basically run two Ableton rigs. I run an Ableton rig that has sort of synths and samples, and I also play a little guitar kind of through virtual amps and harmonica through a virtual amp as well, and sing pretty affected. I run it into Kevin's Ableton rig, and he's kind of dropping beats and mixing it, come out left, right. It's all kind of self-contained in our head, in our in-ear monitors. But it's been fun, man. It's like electronic, like sometimes it's house beats. It's got some psychedelic elements because we are using a newer technology, not super new, but it's new to the Ableton Push, and it's kind of the impetus for the band. But it's called MPE, MIDI Polyphonic Expression, where before it was like if you had pads, you were sort of just like pushing the buttons. They might have had like velocity sensitivity, that had a musicality. Where the new Push 3 in Ableton has MPE in it, and it really lets you sort of, as someone who's been playing instruments and singing, it really lets you give like vibrato, very sensitive to push, lets you kind of slide around notes. And I guess once I got a Push 3 and felt the musicality of an MP3 with synth sounds, is Moog synths. We use Roly Equator is like made for those Roly keyboards that are very sort of MPE specific, but it translates pretty rad to Ableton. And once, I guess both of us, Kevin and I, got those, we just realized sort of like the potential of musicality. I also do MPE Moog synths on my iPad in conjunction with it, which also has this built-in sort of slide around on glass. Or there's a program called GeoShred where I'm pulling in
sitars and stuff, and being able to affect it all in Ableton and have it all on a MIDI fighter twister, like a MIDI controller, where I have dub echoes on them, on my vocals, on the harp, on the guitar, like all that kind of stuff. So it's like just very fun in real time. Again, in that project, we have song structures, but then it's like, it's pretty free form. We released our first single 2 months ago, and single, it's called AI, and it's 18 minutes long, you know, and it was sort of it was the song that we had, but that it's never been played like that. And we release it on Spotify, and it will never be played that way again. You know, we switch it up.
That's the cool thing.
You know, just, you know, but it was 18 minutes, and I was like, you know, we'll take like a 30-second chunk just for advertising. Then we hit whatever it was that we hit over that huge chunk. And there were cameras, and it's on, you know, I think it's Wabi Music is under Instagram. We just have an Instagram and a YouTube. You can
WABI.
Yeah, WABI Music. Check it out. But yeah, I'm having a blast with that. I'm having a blast playing acoustic. Dragondeer was super busy this summer. We'll pick it back up in the spring. We got that show coming up in December. And then I go by DJ Supnod, where I'm like spinning house music lately. So it's just kind of, you know, doing the thing.
Professional musician, you got to keep busy, right?
Yeah, and it's a good time too. So,
well, thanks for coming up today and braving I-25. We appreciate it. And well, Eric Halborg, what are you going to play out for us? Last two songs.
We are going to do. First one we will do is Bad Routines, which is a kind of revved up Dragondeer song, but kind of in this incarnation, it's like almost like slower country-ish. And then we will do If You Got the Blues to end it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming to Live at Lunch, and thanks for viewing and listening today to KRFC's Live at Lunch.
Thanks for having me. Sometimes I look around, ain't nothing getting done. It seems them parties bleed right into the next. Sometimes a big hangover, an even bigger check. There may be bad routines in the way, at least them good times, they're here to stay. Bad routines in the way, at least them good times, well, they're here to stay. Sometimes you get so high, Dave's good fortune is big as the sky. Upscale locales and fancy swimming pools, something to drink, it's hard to feel a fool. There may be bad
that's here to stay. Well, there may be bad routines in the way. At least them good times, that's here to stay. Mama, please don't go. I would miss you so. Please stay. Mama, don't go away. I need you more now. Please stay. And if you've got the blues and you don't know what to do, I would still be here for you. Mama, please don't leave. I need you more now, believe me. And I know we had a little fight, just was hard to make it right. I need you more now, tonight. And if you've got the blues and you don't know what to do, if you're feeling down, got your back to the ground, if everything's tattered, ain't so happy ever I know he had a little fight, tried so hard to make it right. I need you more now, tonight. And if you've got the blues and you don't know what to do, I would still be here for you. Yes, I will. I will be here for you. Yes, I will. Well, I will be here for you.
Thank you for listening to Live at Lunch, and thank you to the Music District here in the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado. Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker studio. If you'd like to appear on Live at Lunch, email our music director, David Vacek, at david@krfcfm.org.